we've been tracking quickly through Psalm 74, a lament over the devastation of the city of Jerusalem and the temple of God. And the psalmist in the first 11 verses lays out the destruction. And then in verse 12 looks up at the strength of God and the salvation plan of God still unfolding. And then in verses 13 to 17 recounts God's providence and presence and sovereignty in the hard times as well as the good times, using these metaphors of day and night and fountains and dried up rivers and things like that. Verse 18 turns the prayer to asking God to remember and to involve himself in this, first for his name, verse 18. Second, for the precious love he has for his turtle dove, Israel, or his people. Verse 20 is where we pick it up today. Have respect unto the covenant, for the dark places of the earth are full of the habitations of cruelty. So let's break down verse 20 for a few minutes, and then I'll send you into your day. So first the psalmist says, God, would you remember us because of your name? Secondly, verse 19, would you remember us because you love us? We're your turtle dove. Thirdly, verse 20, would you remember us because of your covenant? Now, covenant is a beautiful word. It is a loving, legal, binding agreement. And we belong to a covenant-making God and a covenant-keeping God. Some of God's covenants with ancient Israel were conditional. It was, if you, then I. If you, then I. But his first covenant, I will be your God, you will be my people. I will take care of you, I will be with you. That covenant was unconditional. It began in Genesis 12 and 15 with Abraham. And Abraham believed God, and it was counted unto him for righteousness. Abraham did not have to enter into the covenant, keeping it himself. God kept it for him. God entered it for him on his behalf as a substitute, essentially saying, Abraham, you will break this covenant, and I would have to kill you. But I don't want to do that, so I will enter into the covenant for you. It's all a picture of the everlasting covenant of salvation. The new covenant is what we call it. Also, the New Testament. Hebrews calls it the blood of the everlasting covenant, and that is the blood of Jesus, God in the flesh, on the cross. So the ultimate covenant is unconditional. It was made available by God. It was entered into solely by God, unconditionally pouring out mercy and love for all that would receive the covenant. We don't achieve it. We don't live up to it. We don't keep it. He keeps it for us. We receive the benefits of the covenant. And the psalmist is saying, Lord, would you spare us because of your covenant? Remember your covenant. And then he expounds on the reasons why God should remember this covenant love for his precious turtle dove people that he promised himself to. Basically, Hebrews says, because he could swear by no other, he swore by himself, because it is impossible for God to lie. So his name is the backing for the covenant. We live in a day of failed banks and failed systems and failed things, okay? Failed leaders. But we belong to a God who cannot lie, who swears by his own name, who absolutely keeps his word and keeps his covenant. And so the psalmist is embedding his heart and his hopes and his promises and his strength and his whole sense of things into the covenant-keeping heart of God. Why? As a contrast, because of the dark places, the hard places, the difficult places of earth are full of the habitations of cruelty. The only alternative to knowing a God of covenant love is eventual loss and cruelty. Here's what a modern rendering of this might be. Lord, I'm discovering that life is cruel and hard and unfair and broken and messy. But I've also discovered you are a covenant God who calls me your turtle dove. You have a name that is trustworthy. You are sitting as king of all of creation, and you are unfolding a plan of redemption. And in the light of those realities, because I am held by your covenant. I can walk through the dark places of life. I can endure this brief moment of this cruel existence because I know your covenant heart. Oh, my friend, this is worth thinking about today. So you belong to a God of covenant. Jesus fulfilled the covenant, made the covenant available to you, and he promises you forever belong to him. So don't let the dark places of cruelty swallow you up. Keep your eyes on him. Happy Friday. See you this weekend and again on Monday.